think cheating is?
When you copy out somebody's work to get ahead, like on tests or something.
I think cheating is when you copy somebody else's work or when you use materials you're not supposed to.
I guess it's when you cheat on a test or something. You're just not supposed to do that. Like you put somebody else's paper. It's wrong.
Why would you do it?
If I really need to get a grade, I'm I needed it a lot. For my last three, if I didn't get it, I would have.
As far as like an assessment, a test, or a quiz, using any kind of having slip of paper with some stuff on it you're not permitted to have, looking at someone else's paper. Generally speaking, I'd say those are the most two common types. Other than that, if you're supposed to work on a project and you're given ways of the type of help you're allowed to get and you go beyond what you're allowed to do.
All right. And what do you think makes a student at BCC want to cheat?
I'd say it's a great deal of pressure. Competition for colleges has become a lot more intense, and people want to have pressure to have better grades, and
so
that makes them want to, sometimes I really feel like people really want to learn. Most of the students I deal with, but at certain times they get so overwhelmed. I think they feel a little bit of pressure to maybe just get an extra answer that they couldn't have normally because they might have been under too much stress and workload.
Mm-hmm. And what are the most common things that you look for to catch someone?
I think the main thing I usually just generally like during a test or a quiz, I'll walk through, you're not going to catch everything. I know certain things I hear to look for, obviously I don't want to see somebody under the desk,
Yeah.
Phones are an easy way for, larger classes, or not even larger, just if you're not paying attention for people to use. They get used to, hey, during test he or she sits at the desk and doesn't really pay much attention, or just the most obvious is looking around at other people's papers.
Mm-hmm. And if you catch someone, what do you usually do?
I hate that. I do. I've had it happen. Usually, like if I've seen somebody looking around, I like to give a general statement to the class, reminding them, I want to make sure you're doing your own work. Please remember to do that. Hopefully, I think that'll trigger to the person. They may or may not know that I saw them. Maybe they think it was somebody else, but maybe doesn't point them out at first. Maybe they weren't looking around. I know sometimes during a test, you do have to stretch a little bit. So maybe it's maybe they're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that like I just did. Second time around, it's probably a little more obvious. My reaction is to move the person, talk to them about it after class. If it's something more blatant than that, if I found some type of sheet or slip that they had some material on it that they shouldn't have, in that respect, I'd probably talk with them and contact the parent just to let them know, and probably give them a different version or a 0. Probably for the first offense. Not saying it's ever right, but because I know how stressful it is and I know the pressure, I would probably give them a second chance the first time around. After that, I'd be much more strict.
I see. And what do you think are the downsides to cheating in school?
Obviously, you're not getting a reflection of what you've learned and not to say what effort you've put in, because again, like I was saying, not to make an excuse for it, but some people have flat out, I've talked to students about it before, and they've flat out told me I had 5 things to study and I didn't get to study this one thing as much. I shouldn't have done it, but I did. What was that question again? I forget where I was going with it.
Like, what are the downsides to it?
once they're beyond that material, it might be something that they'll not feel the need or have time to go back and learn, and it could actually prevent them from doing better in the future with that material, or you know, they're cheating themselves just as much in a way.
So like in the future it could
In the fu-
cause
yeah,
them.
Yeah, you could, you know, here you showed that you mastered something where had the teacher seen you didn't master that concept, it might have been something that, if you're normally a B student and you got a D and they find, you know, hey, this wasn't your normal work, let's go back through this. You know, you might have a teacher that was that helpful that could have gone back through and you would have been able to get that material. And then, on the other hand, if you cheated, they wouldn't know that, and you're not going to learn the material you needed to know.
Right. Are there any studying tips you would give to someone who you've found cheating to like help them out, cope with the
That's-
stress?
It's easier to say than to do, but starting to study early, once you know when a test or a quiz is, don't put it off to the last minute. Try to put in a little bit of time leading up to the night before when you're obviously going to study more. If you try to, I remember when I used to do that, I'd study something for hours the night before a test, and it would just start to click right before the test, and then it was a little too late. So had I tried to, it's not easy to do, but if I would have tried to act like the night, 2 nights before the test was the night before, put that time in, then the next day would be a good day to kind of let it absorb. So that's, once again, easier said than done, but if you're able to get back on that earlier track, it's a good help.
Please keep your eyes on your paper. Edith. Okay, time's up. Please hand your papers to me. Okay, here are your quizzes. Everybody did very well.
Yay!
Good job.
Can we like
Felix.
redo that? No. Crap.
Sit over here. Yeah. Just I know you guys don't cheat, but just to be safe, maybe keep everybody spread out.
Okay.
How was it?
Very easy.
How you doing, Felix?
Okay.
Can I go to the bathroom?
Yes, go ahead. What is this? You didn't write anything. Did you study? Study very hard. Felix, not so much.
I tried.
I'm sorry, but you're failing the class.
No!
Loss of credit. You're gonna have to retake this again.
Not with you again.
Yep, me and
No.
another year, baby.
No, please. Can I retake the exam?
Stop talking.
Bitch. No! Not again.
We'll not talk.
Bye.